Most men don't struggle to stick to the plan because they're lazy. They just struggle because they're massively overstimulated. Too much noise, too much responsibility, too many people pulling at them every single day. And the problem with the fitness industry is it's making everyone believe that men have a discipline problem. They don't. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what's happening in your brain and in your lifestyle that's stopping you from being able to stick to the process. And I'm going to show you how you can rebuild your focus, your energy, and your consistency without having to rely on that fucking filthy word motivation all the time. So let's start by talking about why are men feeling tired all the fucking time? You wake up tired, you go to bed tired, you're tired throughout the day for no fucking reason whatsoever. Well, let's talk about that. The minute you wake up, you've already got 10 to 15 things running through your brain without even thinking about it. And what's the first thing that most men will do when they wake up in the morning? They'll grab their phone and they'll start scrolling through Instagram. Before they know it, there's a shit ton of notifications flying into their face. There's people pulling them one way. There's people telling them they need to do this, they need to do that. And before they've even had a chance to get out and sit down and eat their breakfast with a cup of coffee, they're already thinking about all the stresses that are going on in their life every single day. On top of all this, you've got your work stress, you've got your financial stress, you've got your family stress, you've got the ability to have to be a provider all the fucking time. When are you ever going to get to switch off? Why do you feel like you're overwhelmed? Because you are fucking overwhelmed, my man. So when all this shit is going off in your head all the time, if you even try to think about training, if you even try to think about getting in shape, your brain is going to go into meltdown. Your stress is going to hit an all-time high and you're going to feel like shit before you even get started. So it's unrealistic for us to sit here and say that you need to do all this stuff with your training to get in shape because you've already got so much shit going on. You're not going to be able to do it. That's not laziness, my man. That's just that you're overstimulated. And unfortunately, nowadays, the majority of men are walking around the world super overstimulated and they don't even fucking realize it. Your nervous system is on constant overdrive. You are constantly getting dopamine from stuff that you do every single day. And your attention span, you don't have an attention span. And this leads to even worse knock-on effects when you're at home. If you're trying to be present with your family, if you're trying to be there for your kids, you cannot be possibly present because you're always thinking about the shit that's going on in the background. And the real kicker is, I see this every single day with loads of guys that I work with, is that men will blame themselves for this. And that is a problem. You're not the problem, my man. The fact that you're overstimulated is. So there's a hidden cost of being a man in today's society. And a lot of people don't talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it now because this shit needs to be said out loud. Most of the men that I coach are doing one of the following things. They're either running a business or they're working really fucking long hours. They're trying to raise kids. They're trying to have a family. They're trying to be a provider. They're trying to do all of this stuff. Also on top of this, most men are dealing with stress that they just won't talk about. The reason that they won't talk about it is because they have no idea how to verbalize it. They have no idea how to say it out loud. They have no idea what the hell the emotions that they're going through actually means. And they don't know how to deal with it. And then they turn around and they're trying to be strong for everyone else around them. They don't want to show their emotion because they're supposed to be the guy who can hold it all together. They're supposed to be the guy who has their shit together. They're supposed to be the provider. That's the way society has it nowadays. And that's the way men need to be. So you're overstimulated, dude, and that's why. And then you look at the fitness advice that's flying around online right now and it's telling you that you need to train 6 days a week and you need to be absolutely on it with your nutrition all the time. How are you going to do that when you're already doing all this other stuff in the background? It's not realistic and it's not going to work for you long term. You need an approach that allows you to stick to something even when life is shit, because as a man, 95% of the time, your life is going to feel shit. So how can you know if you're overstimulated and not lazy? Because there is lazy people out there too. I've seen plenty of lazy people who don't get results because they're lazy. But how do you know the difference? There is a difference between overstimulated and lazy. If you've noticed any of the following stuff over the last couple of months, then this is probably because you're overstimulated. You have that crash just before lunch. Just when you're about to get to lunchtime, you're about to sit down at your food, you just feel like you're crashing. You're falling asleep. You can't keep your eyes open for no apparent reason whatsoever. You haven't done anything differently to what you've done previously. You are constantly craving sugary, shitty foods all the time. All you want to do is drink coffee. All you want to do is get that quick hit from somewhere. You're constantly craving it. For some reason, you can never seem to switch off your brain. Even when you lay down in bed, you're thinking about the thing that happened yesterday, the thing that happened today, the thing that you didn't do. That's constantly on your brain all the time. You never get to switch off. If I asked you to sit in a room and stare at a blank wall, you wouldn't be able to do it because you'd go out of your fucking mind thinking about all the other stuff that's gone on throughout the day. Instead of training, you're probably scrolling on Instagram. You're probably watching this video and procrastinating about doing something rather than actually doing the thing. And that's also not your fault either. Your brain is just craving so much dopamine because you've just been giving it dopamine over and over and over and over again. And you scroll through Instagram. When you sit down on the couch, you scroll Instagram. When you sit down in the bedroom, you scroll Instagram. When you get a little bit of spare time, when your missus asks you to take out the bins, you scroll Instagram. You cannot stop scrolling Instagram. You don't know why. You know it's a problem, but you don't know how to fix it. And even a simple little task feels like you're climbing Mount Everest. Even the smallest of tasks, like changing the bins at home, feels like an absolute monumental effort, and you just cannot be bothered doing it. And you're feeling guilty tired. You're feeling tired. You're feeling like shit. You're feeling like you can't do anything, but you're angry at yourself for feeling that way because you feel like you should be able to do more. That's some telltale signs. That's some telltale signs there, my man, that you are massively overstimulated, and that's the reason why you cannot stick to your plan. And if you're still watching to this part, I cannot speak today. If you're still watching to this part of the video, you know exactly what I'm talking about because you're experiencing every single one of these things. So this is the problem with the word motivation, because a lot of guys say they're going to wait until they feel a little bit motivated. Right now we're in December. A lot of guys are thinking, oh, I'm going to wait until January. I'll be way more motivated then. Bullshit. You cannot out-motivate motivation. It does not work that way. You're never, ever going to be motivated enough to do the thing that you need to do when your system is as overloaded as it is right now. Fixing your system overload is the thing that's going to do it for you. It's the thing that's going to move you towards your goal, not this motivation thing that comes around every now and again, because it's fleeting and it will disappear in a very quick instance. Trust me. So you can go through Google and you can read all of the hype videos that you want. That's no problem. You can watch all of the motivational videos that you can watch on YouTube. You can watch every single reel on Instagram to try and get yourself hyped up and motivated. But unless you actually do the do, you're not going to get the result. So you're not actually in need of having more motivation, my man. You are in need of having less noise in your brain. You need mental clarity. And that's why a lot of the things that I do inside the Life Lift Repeat project, inside the rebuild system, is based around your mindset, based around actually believing that you can do things, because it all starts in the brain, particularly for men. So here's how we can change everything for you. I want to give you the golden nugget that you can take that's going to change everything that you do. Okay, so this is how we rebuild guys inside the Life Lift Repeat project. This is how you rebuild from the inside out, and I want you to do this. I'm giving it to you right now. There are 3 things that we rebuild people from the inside out. The first one is structure. This is the most important one. Most guys live chaotic lifestyles. They are constantly running from one thing to another, bouncing around without any sort of structure in their life whatsoever. Structure is the key to achieving any sort of result. Having a simple weekly structure that you can make changes to if you need to is going to move the needle for you. So one of the things that I use is Google Calendar. I've done a video in the past. I will link it in the show notes for you to go and watch it on how to use Google Calendars. But it's very simple to plan your week ahead. If your week is planned and you can manage your week and you can see it on a piece of paper, you're going to feel less chaotic. It's going to have less stuff flying around the top of your head, and it's going to move you forward more than you even know. So give it a chance and try it. Trust me, it works. You need to control your stimulus as well. This is number 2. This is a very important step too. You need to have less screen time. If you look at your screen time right now, I can guarantee that it's quite high, even if you don't get a lot of time. If your screen time is over an hour and a half a week average, then you need to work on that screen time. Unless you're like me and you work on Instagram. Even at that, that's still too much time. So you need to work on decreasing your stimulus. You need to control it. The more junk dopamine that you get, the more you're going to crave. Being on Instagram all the time actually has a knock-on effect to you wanting to go and snack on shit foods all the time, because it's the same type of dopamine. You get the same release. It's the same dopamine you get when you watch porn and you have a wank. It's the exact same type of dopamine that you get from doing good things too. So there's good and bad dopamine. But if you're constantly scrolling on your phone, if you're constantly eating shit food, you're giving this dopamine stores less and less and less. So you don't get to use it on the good stuff. So that's why your energy levels are low all the time. I'm also very big on making sure that you have a nighttime routine and an early wake up routine too. You need to be going to bed at the same time every day. Obviously, it's not always possible, but most of the time, you need to be going to sleep at the same time. You need to be waking up at the same time. It's super, super important that you wake up early in the morning. If you wake up early in the morning, you need to wake up at the same time. Very important. You need to have times in the week where you get to have time for yourself. You don't just react to everything. You need to take time where you get some downtime, maybe do some journaling, maybe just relax, maybe just go and do something that you enjoy doing. For a lot of people, it's playing PlayStation and just switching off. But just need to have that time in your week where you get to wind down and you don't think about all the shit that's been going on in your life. And number 3, you need some predictable non-negotiables. So non-negotiables are the things that you do on an every single day basis. So the way that I like to frame this and the way that I like to think about this is, if you work a full-time job, it's a non-negotiable for you to turn up. If you work 9 to 5, you have to turn up between the hours of 9 to 5. You don't have a choice. If you don't turn up to do your non-negotiable in the work, you don't get paid. And if you don't do it enough times, you get sacked. So you need non-negotiables with your health and fitness as well. You need non-negotiables with your life. And these are some of the ones that I instill to the guys inside the Life Lift Repeat project. So every week I tell people a non-negotiable for them should be to try and get at least 3 workouts done a week. It's a non-negotiable. Now, some weeks you're not going to train. Some weeks you're going to be away on holiday. But it should be in your brain, I need to train 3 days a week. That's going to be the thing that releases me from all the shit that's going on in my life outside of the gym. You want to be getting a certain amount of steps every day as well. If you look at your steps, your average steps throughout the day, and there are 2,000 or 3,000, that's not enough steps for you to be able to live. Our ancestors, the cavemen, the descendants that we came from, were on their feet all day. They were never fat. They were never out of shape. They never felt like shit about themselves. They never had a dopamine problem. So you need to make a priority for yourself to actually get at least 8K steps a day. That's a non-negotiable. Needs to happen. You need to make sure that your meals have high protein in them. And I know it sounds like I'm preaching to the wind here, but this is super, super important. If you don't have protein in your meals, then you're not going to have any sort of energy throughout the day. And that's the thing that's stopping you from having energy in the day. Work on that. And as I said before, a proper nighttime routine will move the needle massively for you. When I say a nighttime routine, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. I'm not talking cold showers or jumping into an ice bath. We're not doing that. Quite literally, just stop using your phone before a certain time in night. So let me give you my nighttime routine. I would literally block our app on my phone, stop me from using my phone after 8 o'clock. Sit down on the couch. Yes, the TV will be on, but I won't be paying any attention for it. It's literally just my partner that I'll be watching the TV at that time. And I'll be thinking to myself, what am I going to do tomorrow? I start to wind down. When I get into bed, I don't touch my phone. I lay down and I usually fall asleep straight away. And I never used to be able to fall asleep straight away. Dark room. Make sure that it's completely pitch black. And make sure it's not too warm or not too cold. Somewhere in the middle. That is it for your nighttime routine. Don't need to reinvent the wheel. Maybe take a magnesium supplement. I've stopped doing that recently. If you do struggle to go to sleep, it will move the needle. If you can get some structure in your life, it's going to feel a little bit easier for you to make everyday life happen. Yes, there will still be all the stresses and everything in the background too, but this will help alleviate those stresses. So if you're still watching this video to this point, I want you to know the truth, my man. You're not lazy. You're not broken. It's nothing that you're doing. That's the reason why you can't stick to a program. It's nothing to do with any of that stuff. It's not because you're not motivated. It's literally just because you've got too much stimuli going on in your head. There's too much shit flying around. You never get a chance to process it all. You're never going to get a chance to process it all. So you need to give yourself a break. If you can fix the noise that's coming around the background, if you can fix the amount of shit that you're consuming on a day-to-day basis, I promise you, with an open heart on my hand, with an open hand on my heart, you will be able to stick to a process long term. So if you feel like this video has hit home a little bit, I'm really happy that you've managed to watch this video till this point. I have a wealth of free resources inside my free community, school community, of other guys who are on similar journeys to yourself, who have had similar problems in the past. I also have a 6-part mini series that explains exactly how you can rebuild your mind and your body from the ground up for free inside said community. So if you want to join that community, just click the link in the show notes, and that's going to bring you straight to that community. Request to join and I'll let you in, and you can go and watch that completely free of charge. For now, thank you very much for listening along. I really appreciate your time, and I will speak to you very, very soon. All the best.